All right, boys. Second league of the night, boys and girls. Your Twitch analytics can tell me 90%, 99%. Round one of the second vintage league of the night playing PO. Let's see if we can do a little bit of a better job than last league. Clean, fun, well thought out Magic the Gathering plays. Good mulligans, like mulliganing this hand away because it's horrible. And we'll see what we can do. Oh, don't do this to me, deck. Don't do this to me. I give up. The first hand was horrible. You have to mulligan the first hand every time. If you keep the first hand, you're going to lose such a higher percentage of your matches. Second hand is just variance, and then this hand is really bad. I might even throw this hand back. I think I have a large subset of fours that are better than this hand. I'm going to put this hand back. I don't think a lot of people would put this hand back, but I think this hand is going to lose almost every match, whereas I have sets of fours that can win. This is not one of the fours that can win, but I don't have sets of threes that can win, I don't think. If he plays like Dredge or anything interesting here, I might concede on the spot. People don't like mulliganing like their fives and their sixes. Come on, dude. How you do this? Just let me play Magic. So if our two draws are like Crypt, Sapphire, maybe we have a shot. Worth noting that that 5-card hand was much better if our will was a vampiric. Something I've been thinking about. I guess it still would have gotten misstepped, but yeah. Tundra Trop could be the same thing that Diofan was playing today in the first round, where it's like a PO deck splashing Mentor and Library. It could also be just a fish deck. Something I've been wanting to try is Spell Queller. Like, what if he just goes Spell Queller the time walk? How lit is that? Sounds so good. I don't know. Leovold splashing Stony Silence, maybe? Something weird. Yeah, Diofan had a Leovold. I don't know if it was in his main or his side. Our opponent really hasn't done anything this game, so we're not dead, but we're certainly pretty close to dead. Ah, yes. There it is, boys. Tundra Trop UC, no fetches. Ding, 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 bingo. Jace the Mind Sculptor? That card is quite unplayable. Gonna win the game here, though. I might concede if he pluses. Alright, he didn't plus yet. I do kind of want to concede before I show him any Moxen. But I already showed him Underground Sea, so the jig is kind of up. This is really not a bad draw. The rest of these draws are awful, though. I'm going to put the misstep on top, I guess. We've already lost, not me. I don't want him to see my top card of my deck. That's where you're wrong. I should have made something fun. Never lucky. Oh, I meant to spin at the end of turn, but I meant to spin with library. All these things that I'm doing are just wrong, but fine. We'll spin this, we'll play this, we'll spin again, make sure we don't want any of this crap. Is that a confirm? Do we not want any of this crap? Yes. So we'll leave Misstep on top in case we need to. We'll block an Ancestral Recall, and then we'll fetch away before we draw, and alright. We'll probably fetch away end of turn and spin before we draw. Yikes. Do I want to misstep this brainstorm? Not really. I'd rather just be able to fetch. I don't want to fetch away my top. It's very important for me to resolve a PO with like a top activation and a Mox Opal if I want to try to win this game. I do want to see more of my opponent's deck. It's not exactly clear what he's doing. So I just have to live with getting destroyed for a little while. It certainly seems like he might be some kind of Leovold Stony Silence deck. I don't really know. It's quite odd. 2 Tundras is more Tundras than you need to splash Monastery Mentor. So it makes me wonder if he's splashing green or black or both. Stifle? Nimble Obstructionist? Fortunately, my jig is up, so there's really no... I think we'll just take the Preordain and try to bottom the other two. It's nice to be able to get Force of Will back up, but it doesn't actually like protect a spell that means anything, because our PO just for 1 with the top doesn't mean anything. Yeah, I haven't played any leagues with that shit. Alright, come on! Mental Misstep is like so high on the frustrating list of cards. Not much we can do. Not much we can do. Pretty dead. At least we haven't activated our top and got our top misstepped, so I just want to see like a little more of my opponent's game plan before we concede. It's very clear like the kind of game plan he wants to play, but the specifics of his game plan are not very clear. I'd really like to see a Leovold or a Stony before I make any judgments and move to sideboarding. Like we lost this game 3 turns ago ish, but there's still information that can be gained by playing this game out. I wish he would like F6 or something, or play faster. I'm the streamer. I'm the one supposed to be playing slow. Come on, Marseille. I believe in you. I believe. Bam! Help me help you! Alright, chat. How was your long weekend? Anyone do anything fun, interesting? Oh, we made it. We made it to the next turn. Tell me something new. Is his plan beat me with Snapcaster 8 times and not 9 times and not show me anything? Because I respect that. He has not once brainstormed and fetched. Snap messed up. Yeah. I see you. That's double the clock. Alright, I'm good here. Just for you guys, I will just concede so we don't have to live through the misery of playing that match out anymore. We will be boarding out Tinker Blightsteel, boarding in Carnes and Pithing Needles. It seems like he might be playing legendary creatures that make us sad, so we're going to put a Krakus in, but we're going to board an island out. We don't need that many lands against him. I would definitely appreciate a Remora and a Flusterstorm. I don't think Tinker is necessary. Boarding out Hurkyl's Recall because he's not an artifact deck. Boarding out... Probably not boarding out Repeal. Repeal seems pretty good right here. I like to board out one Opal against these kind of decks. And I kind of almost want to board out a second island as well. So, we're going to run with this. Yeah, so he's probably a Stony deck, which is a big reason why I board out one Mox Opal and why I want to keep in Repeal. I don't like typically try to time people out when I play Magic Leagues. It's not really a good use of my time. I did do it recently when my opponent in Standard was just like playing ungodly slow and taunting me in chat. That was pretty ruffle. He was like taunting me in chat, so I just like timed him out. He was playing Teferi and couldn't win fast. I had 13 minutes on my clock when he timed out of the game, and I was like, dude, like, he's like, wow, you're such a good player, time me out. I'm like, how about you just play faster? It's not that hard. Hit up 6 more. Don't taunt me in chat. He's like, you're so lucky. You've never drawn 2 lands in a row of Experimental Frenzy, and I'm like, you're so lucky. I'm not drawing 2 lands in a row, but I'm drawing the Lethal Siege Gang on top that goes in my hand. Like, ugh. Alright. Stands pretty strong. Kind of in on this life. We're gonna, like, keep it, probe him, get the probe misstepped. Play our Lotus, get it Force of Willed or something. Probe's like 100% to be misstepped. It's a classic. How do I want to order this is a decent question. I think we could go Time Vault, top, Ponder. Then we don't have a second blue card. We could just go Tolarian, top, leave up our Black Lotus. I don't hate that. It's kind of important to have a Force of Will if he plays an early Walker or Leovold or something like that. I think I'll take a conservative line of just playing out my Sensei's Divining Top while it can't get Snapcaster misstepped. I don't think I want to crack my Lotus, and I would like to keep up Force of Will. Here I now have 2 mana. That's interesting. I was very confident I was going to play Time Vault and pass. But now I think I kind of want to play Preordain. It's like reasonably likely hitting max mana here. And I do want to resolve the Preordain before he has a chance to have Snapcaster misstep. Apio is interesting, but I think actually not very good here. And a library is not good either. Though a library does let me play the Time Vault. Heal might actually be fine. So if I leave top, I get to play Time Vault and then cast PO for 3. Yeah, I guess that's actually reasonable. With Force Backup, I was thinking PO wasn't good enough because I would have to crack Lotus, but I don't actually have to crack Lotus, which puts my PO in actually a pretty decent spot. I'm pretty happy with where that landed. So let's see what he has in store for us. If it's nothing, then we're very likely to pass back. We don't want to cast Force of Will into open cluster. We don't want to cast Paradoxical Outcome into open Flusterstorm mana. So there's really no reason for us to do anything on this turn. If he decides he wants to pass back again, then we still get to use our mana. We get to spin our top and see what we have going on. One fetch is interesting. Let's see how many times he fetches. Could just be for a Preordain or a Ponder here. See how many different fetch lands he gets. There's a Trop, Leovold probably. Energy Flux, huh? I'm gonna lead with PO and see where that gets us. It gets us a concession, so pretty nice. Did I not board in Trap? I guess he's not really a deck I want to trap. That actually kind of makes sense. Alright. Let's try again. Energy Flux, huh? I thought he was a Stony Silence deck for sure. I guess he's a Flux deck. Hard to tell when we don't know what's happening. You know what he could be? He could be a Hydra deck. What is that card called? Mana Gorger Hydra? The one that has Miracle Grow on it. This hand is actual to Stone Cold Nutter Butters if he has no interaction. And if he, actually it's Stone Cold Nutter Butters either way, because we can just library go. If he plays turn 1 PO, it's annoying. Or turn 1 Stony Silence, it's annoying, I mean. We do have library go, so. Yeah, see, he does have Stony. Alright, so we have our secondary game plan of library goes. That's a good draw. So, nice, we have Flusterstorm, but we don't really have any way to stop a powerful Planeswalker play. We'd really like to have a Force of Will to feel a little safer about where we're at in this game. And we do need to hit some more lands. I really can't do anything about this. So, really unfortunate. Let's see. I think it's still better to probe now and see what we think he put on top. Jeez, he's got Drain, Cruise, huh? Okay. We'll play out our Lotus. A little awkward to play out our Crypt. But we could take a turn off, but we really do need to draw a bunch of cards. We need to make sure we get up to 3 mana to cast this Repeal. We really need to get 4 mana so we can cast Repeal with Flusterstorm back up. So I think we actually have to cast our Crypt. I will make sure I draw in upkeep this time. We'll just have to figure out what he put on top. It's kind of unclear what he would put on top. So we cut 2 lands, which is a little awkward against Stony Silence Library. Or Stony Silence while trying to play a library plan. Could have been a mistake. Might have wanted to take out a second Mox Opal instead of an island. I like to trim down to 1 Mox Opal against Stony Silence, but we thought he might be Stony Silence, but he wasn't 100% clear. Could be a slight misboard though. Alright, a land's a good draw there. So he's gonna play nothing. Ancestral. That makes the most sense. Certainly makes the most sense. I mean, I really can't do anything about it, so just haven't drawn cards that I haven't drawn things like Force of Will, so now we're gonna start losing to our own Crypt. Needle's an interesting one. I'm not gonna play out Needle yet. I'd rather play out Vault. We do know he still has 2 mana drains. Alright, so now we're getting close to the mana we need to start playing cards again. We have to figure out a way to successfully resolve a Repeal or a Mentor before we die to our Mana Crypt. A good thing to help us here would be a Tolarian draw. We're not gonna hold up all our mana for Repeal yet. I'm likely just naming Jace the Mind Sculptor up this. Oh, it's only because I have this open on the side here. Sorry about that. It typically doesn't block off anything if I don't have that window open. It's just trying to get the largest screen I can for you guys. The magic overlay is not particularly great for streaming. It's very small and hard for people to see, so I like to try to do the best I can to make sure everyone can see large enough cards. But yeah, like I could always like open chat and like make that the correct size, you know, for everyone to see all the last cards, which is also something I sometimes do. Um, but then you're just looking at smaller cards, so it's like, well, I guess it actually doesn't change the size, so I can just do that if you want. Whatever works best for you. I don't mind fixing it. I think I have it sized so I can keep the chat open, but I have not been keeping the chat open recently. So even though we have a library here, we've drawn fairly well, but not amazing. And so we are still behind, which is pretty crazy. We don't have Force of Wills yet, so it's really hard to make a play. Like we have a Flusterstorm and that's it. But we should be able to start making plays soon. It's likely he has a Flusterstorm of his own. But before he brainstorms, I'd like to try to resolve. I don't even have enough. Never mind. I don't have enough. I don't have enough cards in my thing to dig through time. This is really bad. Yeah. Okay. I think I slightly misboarded with the whole land thing. If I'm going to play against Stony Silence, I want to board out one more Opal and keep in one more island. I like boarding out some lands against these grindy decks, but this is really unfortunate because can't do much. I would have more cards in my yard if I, instead of playing some of these artifacts, I had just pitched them instead. But it's really strong if I draw Tolarian Academy. I drew Caracas. Well, Caracas lets me try to resolve Mentor, which is kind of nice. If we think he has no Force of Wills, then we could go for the repeal right now. We could lead with Snapcaster Probe. We could play Karn with Flusterstorm backup. I think Mentor with Flusterstorm backup and a library draw is the best we're getting here. I'm gonna try that. I don't have follow-up plays is a little concerning, but I can need to start getting him out of cards. I need to start getting card. Oh, I meant to hit library. I didn't hit library. That was unfortunate. I was talking and I wasn't thinking. Dreaming's tough, man. I needed to activate library before I cast Flusterstorm there. Now I don't have 7 cards in hand, and I cannot activate my library. That kind of misclick could cost the game for sure. It looks like he's deciding whether or not he wants to Force of Will this. He doesn't really need to. He can Jace it back to my hand. If he does Jace it back to my hand, I do get to activate library next turn. We'll have to see. He can still have Force or Mind Break Trap here. He has neither, but we screwed up a little, so we also don't have a chance to have a follow-up. So we'll have to see at the end of the game if if misclicking there is going to lose us the round. We'll have to see. Alright, strip mine. So we're going to be one card down from where we should have been at the end of this game. It's probably the most frustrating if it was a Force of Will on top. Now he can bounce without any problems. We know he's out of drains, but he can still have many other things, and he's gonna get to resolve Cruise this turn. We're just gonna get buried. It's pretty crazy. The Stony Silence did some pretty major work. We had the repeal, but we haven't really had a shot. Knowing his hand of Mana Drain, we haven't really had a shot of doing anything about it. He's a pretty interesting Mana Drain deck to be playing all those colors and Jaces as your payoff, but I guess you can do it. I think we're gonna start another league. Oh, actually, last league we started off, it was a little rough, but. I don't really know what he's thinking about. It's very clearly fire off Cruise here. Then reevaluate post Cruise. In fact, he probably should have fired off Cruise before he activated his Jace. Just like had a nice opener, but subpar series of draws on the top, plus a mispay puts us in a rough spot. Well, we know his hand is gone now. So we still have our Crypt that we're slowly dying to. Very slowly, because we've been pretty lucky with our clips this game, but he just needs to not die and we will eventually kill ourselves. Alright, so it wasn't anything that mattered, but I think I just want, because I have no follow-up for this mentor besides like Cycle Repeal, maybe Cycle Repeal is actually just good enough. I thought I was going to try to, it'd be nice if I could just bounce back this Stony Silence, but it's such a bad play against a Singleton Flusterstorm, which is very likely, that I don't think I can have myself do it. This Merchant Scroll is going to lose to a Singleton Flusterstorm as well. But it will put us in dig range. So what I can do is I can Merchant Scroll if he So I'm gonna grab a Force. I'm gonna pass the turn and discard some garbage. I'm not gonna play the dig right now because I don't want it to get Flusterstormed. I'm very likely to play it at the end of his turn. I probably won't protect it with Force. It's just more of a bait more than anything. I think the correct pitch here is Time Vault. But I kind of want to. I think it's just Time Vault. Card's not really doing anything. The best draw in our deck is still Tolarian Academy. But we haven't been able to find it yet. So we're starting to be overcome by this Jace. Our library was keeping us up with it, and since we've lost that, we've fallen behind pretty heavily. I assume this is like a Leovold or something, right? Could just be his own Force of Will if he's counter light. There's a lot of different things this could be, and all of them are bad for us. If we draw Tolarian, we can play like Mentor, Karn. Like we have a pretty strong set of plays. Time Walk is like pretty good. Can't really counter Time Walk, so I guess it resolves. We're pretty much just getting completely rolled over here. It's a little awkward. We've had repeal the whole time and just it has not been good. It's not been good. Goes to show if you can resolve a Stony Silence versus PO, you really don't need much else. Like, think if I didn't have library this game. If I didn't have library this game, it's even worse. Like, I'm nowhere close to being able to play anything. Certainly one of the weaknesses. So he fetched and then went to his next turn. Yeah, he had a Jace, so pretty reasonable. Our opponent's playing excruciatingly slow. I wish he would play a little faster. If we did go to a third game, like, there's very little chance he would be able to win fast enough. Luckily for him, I don't think we'll be going to a third game, but this is just like hurts, man. Hurts real good. I'm like narrating on my plays and explaining things, and I'm still like 7 minutes up on clock, so it's like 6 minutes up on clock. Yeah, 7 minutes. I mean, he has to take a lot of game actions, but you shouldn't take this long to choose your game action. It's rough because it means I get to play less games on my stream. It means you get to watch less games. I don't think Pithing Needle. So like we just actually can't afford to like counter any of these spells because we are a combo deck and need to use them to protect our spells. So he just gets to play like Snapcaster Mage and Time Walk and Snap Time Walk and Jace every turn, but like I guess he's hoping our Mana Crypt flips a couple times in his favor, but he's got 3 minutes to close this game out. And I'm not gonna slow play him, but I'm not gonna like do everything I can to let him win the game. I don't think we have too much of a shot of winning this game, but Sure, if he just passes the turn enough times, our mana crypt will kill us. Alright, it's time, fam. That's not the one. Dig. I don't really want to dig that away. Dig. I just said I didn't want to dig that one away. Probe. Needle. Rainforest. Library. Flusterstorm. I'm just gonna leave this vault in case I Yogg well. I'm very likely to pitch the Snapcaster to Force anyways, because PO is likely how I can win the game, and so is a repeal, so. This is the first of our attempts to try to break through his 7-card hand. So our best shot here is a Tolarian draw. Fortunately, we drew another PO. I'm gonna slam. All these plays are so bad. I can take another hit. I'm gonna slam an end of turn PO over there again. If I play Karn, I can make a dude, it doesn't matter. Snap recall, like, just getting it buried. I have to, I need to achieve a reasonable end of turn play that which puts him in a spot where we have the counter advantage, which is going to be incredibly difficult to do because we didn't draw counter magic this game. So it seems like I don't know why he's playing Tropicals still. All I know is that he's a Snapcaster Flux deck with Stony Silence. He opted to not play red, so he's not playing Dak. I assume it has to be Leo, but I'm not sure. No Grudge. I don't know. I still don't really know what's going on. Yeah, he's got 2 Tundra, 2 Trop, 3 UC. It's an insanely large amount of color sources. It's just a insanely large amount of mana in general. It's interesting. I don't know what exactly is leading him to that color combination, but it feels really tough for me to give this guy the win, but I probably will concede before this timer runs out. Yeah, we've seen Preordain. I don't understand what he's doing. He's playing Leovold. But I don't know. Trying to figure out if I want to just concede. He can't win in 11. He can't. I guess he can win in 11 seconds if he f6 f6s. Like I could easily play spells and make him lose the game. Is what I'm saying, and I just don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to concede. I'm definitely not winning that game.